Okay, we're going to be learning Forest Murmurs by American composer William Gillock. He wrote 24 lyric preludes in romantic style. So he's a contemporary American composer, but he wrote in romantic style. And number 24, if those of you who are more familiar with piano literature or any kind of musical literature, might be like 24 usually means something. Like for example, Chopin wrote 24 preludes and etudes, well, multiple sets, and then Bach also wrote 24 of this. What is it? Well-Tempered Clavier, Book 1 and Book 2. So there's 2 sets of that as well. So it usually means that there's when a composer sets out to write 24 of anything, it usually means that there's one in each key. So this particular one opens the series and it's written in C major. So in the opening it says, just as the title would suggest, that it's a Forest Murmurs, and Gillock writes soft pedal throughout. Sometimes, I don't tend to hold soft pedal throughout the whole piece unless it's absolutely insisted upon, just because it changes the timbre of your keyboard. But I guess the main point that he's trying to get across is that it's very soft, right? So you can choose to hold it throughout, or in my case, I like to put it down only when it says pianissimo. And there are multiple sections of pianissimo in this piece. So now let's take a look at the very first section, which it's, what is it? First 8 measures. Okay, and let me see. Before you add the murmurs are actually happening in the middle of the keyboard area at G, A. Thumb and second finger will be playing G, A throughout. So that is the murmuring part. But let's leave that out for now, and you can use any fingering in the right hand for now, and let's just play left hand with the right hand melody line only for the first 8 measures. Okay, and it's in 3/4 time, and 88 to 92 is a little, it's faster than the clock, so it's about like a moderato speed, 1, 2, or andantino, you can say 1, 2, 3. That's my guess, that it's around there. So let's try together. Left hand plus the melody. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. You can do with or without the pedal for now. 8 measures. I like to leave out like the textures at first, because it gives you a clear vision of what the piece is supposed to be. Okay, so that was the melody and the left hand harmony. And then when you look at now take a closer look at the left hand, I see the first note is a staccato with tenuto, which seems to almost contradict each other, right? So you are separating, but you are supposed to hold it for the whole entire duration. That's like bittersweet, I guess. Oxymoron like. So maybe it's just a long staccato. And then it goes to a tenuto on top. And let's use fingering 4, 2, 1. You can use 5. But whenever there's a leap, since you have to leap back again, I like to use pinky for this. Okay. So for that first chord, let's use 4, 2, 1, and then that kind of sets it up for 4, 3, 1 for the second chord, and then 5, 2, 1, and then so forth. So now let's practice just the left hand with pedal. Okay, 1, ready, go. First one goes to A major, lean on it, 1. So second beat kind of gets an emphasis because it has the longer chord. And up, down, and change here. And notice the tenutos are gone. The G's are tied in measure 6. So the fingering is probably 4-2-1, and then changes to 4-3-1. So it's 1, 2, like that. So 4-2-1 for here, and 4-3-1. And it looks like the left hand part is chopped off on the screen. Hold on. So let me scroll up. And then another tie. Yeah, so change to 5-2-1 for the G major. And notice that it's a treble clef. And then change it to 5-3-1 here. So 5-2-1, 5-3-1, and bass clef G. Let's just play the left hand again from beginning to there with the pedal. Okay, we'll do it nice and slow. Okay, 1, ready, go. C, 2, 3, C, 3, and then now go to C major. All the bass notes are C so far, and C, the tenutos are gone. Now E on the bass, and then change pedal, and then change pedal, G. And you kind of build up to that fermata moment. Okay. Now let's try maybe all of the right hand, but with just the first beat of the left hand. So here's how it's gonna look. I'm just breaking it down so you can use to practice. Notice that the melody notes are staccato, but it's they're quarter notes, right? So hold it for about half of the value, so like an eighth note's worth for those. And the G, A, I'm gonna stay really close to the keys and play extra soft. So it's gonna be E. So I'm gonna ping the top. You can, when you practice, you can even exaggerate it more. Play the top melody line like forte, and then the bottom line like pianissimo. Yeah, so as soft as possible. So E, G, C, like that. D. Maybe try without the pedal first. C, E. Sorry, I played 2 notes there. And then 5 holds. Okay. And then add pedal to that with just the left hand bass note. In this case, it's really easy because it's just C's, right? So let's try that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there are 2 little phrases here. The first one goes, and then maybe slightly less one here, right? And then we're gonna build up. And notice how melody line is now connected. Okay, so it's gonna go C, D, E, E, F, G. It's ascending, so that's easy to crescendo. So it'll be C, D, E. Now bass changes. G, B, A, G. So it kind of builds up to this. And then we tenuto, which means suddenly slurred. It's just a C major scale coming down And then take, don't make it all straight. Maybe more slow it towards the end, even though it's ritenuto. So it is suddenly slow, but it doesn't have to be all the same pace of slowness. Okay. So the first thing we did was we practiced left hand, or I did, I guess. I practiced left hand by itself with pedal, and then I did the right hand with left hand bass, and then I add the pedal. So I'm just showing you to the process, and you have to do each step multiple times. It's, you know, obviously just once is not gonna be enough, even though that's what I'm doing here. The main challenge of the right hand is keeping those 1 and 2, the dominant fingers actually, right? Absolutely loose, and then shifting your weight to the top. So you can even practice like this. Where I put all my weight on the pinky, and then I just work on doing like nothing, honey, just to hear the difference between the accompaniment and, you know, the texture difference kind of makes it easier for the balance. Or you can do super slow, just practicing the weight distribution. 1, and then 1 and 2, just stay on the keys. Don't move. The higher you move, more vertical you have, right? So the higher I lift my fingers, the louder the notes tend to be. Okay. So now let's try the first 8 measures at a nice slow pace, putting it all together. 1 E and 2 E and 3, go. Now we're gonna build up. Pause and see, because the notes are so high, you can put all that in one pedal. Okay, and make sure you stay, and then you reach up so the high G is kind of loud, and then diminuendo. And even though Gillock says pianissimo throughout, I would actually start adding the saw pedal throughout. Sorry, I cannot speak today. I will probably start adding the saw pedal starting from measure 9 for the color change. At least that's what seems to work in this my current room, with carpeted floor, and, you know, not that high of a ceiling, just a normal size. And this is just a bedroom that I'm in right now, and a keyboard, the digital piano. So anyway, so I'll probably add soft pedal starting from here, but you can gauge depending on where you're at. And what changed here? It seems to be the same as the beginning, except left hand has now additional note, right? And then it does 4, 5. So it's down, up, on the bottom. It's a 2-note slur. So that third beat is going to be softer, like this. Same thing the whole time. Yeah. And right hand doesn't have staccatos anymore, so it's going to be more connected, but whole thing's softer. So let's try play. See, the fingering here, the fact that Gillock wrote 4, 5, tells me that I made the right choice in the very opening of using 4. So if you had been using 5, 3, 1 here, then now you have to switch, right? But if you've been doing 1 to 4 all along, you don't have to change your left hand fingering when you get to measure 9. Hope that makes sense. So let's try, sorry, I keep on going back and forth. How about we try our two steps first, even though it's relatively the same material. Left hand only with pedal. Measure 9. 1, ready, go. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up is my wrist movement. Up, down, up. Sorry, that was me trying to turn the page. And then next part is different. Okay, it has C, 2, and then we have B flat D, E. Use 4 to 1, 4 to 1, and then 1 to 4 again, and then we're gonna go. It says 1 to 5 in the fingering, so I'm assuming. I don't know. So it's 2. Maybe 2 was supposed to be tied, and then it's like that. 1, 2, because it looks like just a regular slur. So I'm a little confused by that. I think it's C is tied, and then you go to D and A flat, and then G. Let's use 1, 1, 3, 5, so that we can connect it physically to this. So it looks like there's a typo in my score, either the fingering or the tied. I think C's are tied. So I'm just gonna play D and A flat on that top, and for the fingering in measure 15, let's use 1, 3, 5, going to 1, 2, 5. Okay, and that is the end of the second part. So all of these pieces seem to be in 3-part form. Okay, so that's the end of the second part. Okay. Now let's try same thing we did before. Right hand with the bass note only. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I played more notes. And then 1, 2, 3, 1. C, A, different material, right? And for fingering, let's use 5, 5, and then 5 again. And F is the softest, and make sure you do a little bit of build up on that first beat. C, D, E, G, 5, 5, 5, 4. Meanwhile, keeping those 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2s really soft. And then E, G, another ritardando. Yeah, there is actually double ritardando, right? So in measure 13 it says to ritardando, and then it's comma espressivo. So da 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 da, maybe a little bit of ritardando, but more of in a just expressive singing way, and then another ritardando. So it's ritardando throughout. Okay, now let's try playing both hands. Starting from measure 9. 1 E and 2, go. 1, 2, 3, and yes, don't forget the soft pedal. Let me turn the page and then connect. Make sure you change pedal here and then see. Yeah. So I could have paused there. As in Gillock could have paused us there, but he doesn't. He continues, and then this is the ending part. Okay. So let's see. Let's look at the last part. Left hand seems to have more of an arpeggiation. So let's do from measure 16, and we're gonna play left hand with pedal. Okay, 1 E and a 2 and ready go left. Let's use 5 2 1 and then 1 3 4 2 3. Same thing. We want to physically connect. Maybe a soft pedal for that pianissimo. 2 3 and then keep the soft pedal throughout. And then there's make sure that your pedal. Look at how Gillock puts the pedaling here at the end. He's asking you to pedal all the way from here. So he pedal from 21 to all the way to here. So don't change. Let the sound accumulate. So you're supposed to go 1 2 3. Hold it down and slightly louder so that there's room to die. Hold on. And there's a roll chord. When the line's connected all the way, you roll from bottom to top. So it's going to be left to right. And it says let it vibrate. What does that mean? Just let it ring. I think that's what he means. And then you probably don't have to roll too fast, but too slow will not allow it to vibrate. So experiment with the speed. Okay, really loud, or it's supposed to be soft, so maybe about that speed, depending on how much you slow down at that ritenuto. Okay, and then it leaves down to here actually. It came up to treble clef and now it's in bass again, and then this is the ending. 1 2 3. Use 1 3 and 2 5 as given to let it connect, and then really softly. So you might have to slide out for this one. Yeah. The reason why we slide for the soft notes is so that it still sounds. Okay. And now let's try. Let's try right hand with the left hand bass only. First, how about first beat of every measure? Okay, 1 2 3. We started at 16. Sorry. This tempo, like a nice lead into it, and oh, maybe that's a little too loud to listen. 1 2 3. Yeah, use your full arm to let it ring, and then slide on both hands. The pinky should be slightly louder. Let's try to play everything now, starting from measure 16 to the end. 1 E and a 2 E and a ready go. Builds up to this and now soft pedal. Now the ending. Just hang out in C major, right? Jump up an octave. What's nice about having soft pedal throughout is that you can get a little louder with your hand without getting too loud. And a slide. And hold the pedal with the hand and then release them together. And then slowly off the keys. Yeah, there's no rush there. Okay, hope that was helpful. Today I feel like I just kind of rambled the whole time, but piece is very peace evoking. I can almost picture like kind of foggy morning in the forest. Not that I have, I don't remember last time I've been in a foggy morning in the forest. Actually, the last time that comes to mind is like sixth grade camp, which is kind of sad. That is kind of long time ago. But anyway, it's a little foggy and then it's very still. Only thing you hear is like nature, maybe a little bit birds or just the light wind or breeze that ruffles the leaves just a little bit. Yeah. Use that kind of imagery for this, and then it will help you get the perfect murmur sound. Stay on the key, and you can even vary it to make sure it never gets soft. That's needed for this entire piece. Alright, hope you have fun with it.